Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And even though we recorded the last episode 2 days ago, this has already been the longest week of my life.
It's been a long week. Nothing's happened in my life, but it's just felt very long.
I woke up yesterday and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's only Tuesday.
Yeah. I did get Girl Scout cookies today.
Mine haven't come in yet.
Well, my boss is like cookie mom of the region or something. So they're all at her house.
Got it. No, one of my coworkers' daughters, I bought them from her. But they're not in yet.
Well,
but I bought 5 boxes.
Mm-hmm. What kind did you get?
I got 3 boxes of peanut butter
tagalongs or do-si-dos.
Tagalongs. They have different names here. They're not called tagalongs. They're called because there's 2 different Girl Scout cookie companies.
Right. ABC and then Little Brownie or something.
Whatever. Yeah, but whatever, the peanut butter chocolate covered peanut butter ones are not called tagalongs at the ones that I have. The only ones that use
what are they called?
I don't remember. They're
tagalongs here, and I'm not that far from you. And they're tagalongs in Louisiana, which is very far from me.
Yes, I know, but peanut butter Girl Scout
patties. Is it peanut butter patties?
No. Oh, yeah. No, sorry, it is. It's just called peanut butter patties.
Mm-hmm.
It's very generic. It's very generic. Mm-hmm. So I got 3 boxes of peanut butter patties because those are my favorites and I like to freeze them. Mm-hmm. And then I got 1 box of Adventurefuls to try.
They're good.
Because you said they were good. And then I don't know if you have these ones, but the other new flavor that we have this year is a French toast cookie.
Okay, so I was very interested in those, but I didn't get them, and I don't know if we have them. I just looked at the website. I didn't see like an order form. I just told Kathy what I wanted.
Okay. Yeah, so I got one of the toast. It's called like Yay Toast.
Toastier.
So Toastier, something like that. So I got one of those to try.
You let me know how it is.
I will.
And if it's good, I will get some.
Perfect.
If it is not, I won't. I already had a box of the Adventurefuls, which I still have because it takes me 7 years to get a box of anything. And I got s'mores, which I love.
We don't have them.
I know those aren't everywhere. I love them. No one else likes them but me, but I love them. And lemon up. So you have the lemon sandwiches, is that right?
They're called lemonades.
Yeah, I have lemon ups, and mine's like a shortbread cookie but lemon flavored.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
On the one order. So the way the girl I got them, her name's Freya. The way Freya's order form was you could order them to be shipped to you, or you could order them to be delivered to you, hand delivered to you. I ordered hand delivered because Amy said she would just bring them to work, and I don't have to pay the delivery fee.
Right.
But when I changed from shipping to hand deliver, the caramel chocolate chip ones disappeared. They were no longer on.
Yeah, I also wondered about those because I've never had those.
The thing is, the dulce de leche were my favorite, and then they discontinued them because apparently I was the only human who ate them. Like I would have eaten 150 boxes of those.
They were.
But I was like, oh, but caramel chocolate chip, like that's if they're using the same caramel flavoring that they used for their other caramel cookies. And yeah, and I was like, so I could be down for that. But then when I switched to like hand delivered, they were not there anymore, and I was sad. But I was like, it's okay. I don't need 6 boxes of cookies for myself because as I was ordering the cookies, I looked at my parents. I said, "Do you guys want any Girl Scout cookies?" And my mom goes, "Oh, I already ordered mine." And my dad was like, "Yeah, and I know who from work I'm getting mine from." I go, "Okay, fine. Then don't eat any of mine when I get them. Thanks."
That's so funny.
They didn't even ask me if I wanted them.
How rude.
I mean, granted, I know a lot of people with children. So,
right. Yes, you work with children.
This filter makes my wine look a really weird color.
It makes it kind of look like you're drinking an Aperol Spritz or Campari straight.
not. It's just a Riesling.
Yeah. Riesling is not orange. That filter is strange.
Yeah. Riesling is in fact not orange. It is, I mean, this one's a kind of dark yellow. It's like a very golden. It's a very golden Riesling, but it is not amber by any
Yes. No. That is really funny. I forgot you told me you were drinking Riesling until just then.
Yep. That's where we're at.
Oh.
Well, you know, it's hard when we record so close together because then we actually have nothing to talk about.
Right. Like I talked to you. This is the third video we've recorded in 5 days. And I texted you every day otherwise. Like, and I keep not doing things and then telling you the one thing I do each day.
Right.
So that's good. Good podcast material.
Fantastic. I do have something exciting. My best friend from Thailand, Brittany, she moved back home this week.
Yay!
So, and her birthday is tomorrow as of recording this. So it'll have passed already by the time you guys see this. But her birthday is tomorrow. And so I actually get to see her this weekend. And I'm very excited because I haven't seen her since August.
Yes, I love it.
Yes. And then I get to see you in 2 weeks.
I know. And we're going to have some big news for you guys.
And I get to see my brother in a week. Very, very exciting.
Yes. Good times.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of so good, just kidding. I actually didn't like this episode as much. There were parts that I liked for sure. But apparently I'm not the only one who felt that way because it was in fact rated 7.7 stars, which is on the lower end for this season.
The lowest this season.
Maybe. I think the first one was 7.6.
Oh, I thought it was 7.9.
Well, I can look. I have it right here.
That's true. We have notes. We did take notes on things like that. We don't have to
just
random.
Kidding. I switched notebooks in the middle, so I don't have the first one. I have. Oh wait, no. Was Send in the Clowns the first one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was 7.9. You're correct.
You have an excellent memory.
Apparently, and I don't.
Only for things that don't matter.
Yeah, so this is the lowest of the season, which I don't think that's fair, but I definitely didn't love it.
I mean, lowest of the season might be fair. Lowest of the show, no.
Definitely
but it's also lowest of the show. But I think lowest of the season might be okay to say because I have enjoyed the majority of these episodes, I think.
That's true. The season is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called Ashes to Ashes. And it's rated, like I said, 7.7 stars.
Sorry, I'm very weird today.
It's all right. It came out on October 3rd, 2004. The number one song of the year was Still Goodies by Ciara. But number one movie was Shark Tale. I love that movie. Literally, I go, oh my gosh, the number one movie when this came out was Shark Tale because we were all watching it together last night.
Yeah.
And my dad goes, what's that thing that we always used to say that comes from that movie? And I can't remember it. And I just go, Sebastian, the whale washing golf. And he's like, yeah, that's it.
So I've never seen Shark Tale.
God. It's literally like top tier DreamWorks animation. Like
apparently it was.
It's like Shrek. Movie. Shrek is the number one movie ever made by DreamWorks. Shark Tale's number 2, solidly. Like I would put it above Despicable Me.
I do love Despicable Me.
Right. So do I. Like I'm not saying that because I don't.
Right.
I would solidly put it. I would go Shrek, Shark Tale, Despicable Me in terms of DreamWorks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it has Jack Black as a shark who doesn't want to be a shark anymore because he wants to be a vegetarian.
I do like Jack Black.
And Will Smith plays the fish that's trying to teach him
to
be a
also
dolphin.
Like Will Smith.
Martin Scorsese is in it. Angelina Jolie is in it. Yeah.
Right,
no. Yeah. Right. It's amazing. I do have one trivia of the day, and it is
Mhm.
actually a throwback to our episode because on October 3rd, 2004, Janet Leigh passed away at the age of 77.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I have
R.I.P.
October 3rd facts as well. I don't have to look these up because October 3rd is Mean Girls Day.
But was Mean Girls even out in 2004?
It came out in 2000.
I thought it came out in 2006.
Maybe, but October 3rd is Mean Girls Day.
Yes, I know, but
What year it is?
It wouldn't have been. Oh no, it actually did come out in 2004, but
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd.
Oh,
It's
no.
also
Actually October 3rd, 2004 was the first ever Mean Girls Day because the movie came out in April of 2004. So nope, you're correct.
and it's my bestie Rachel's cousin Eric's birthday.
It's my
so
godfather.
I text him.
It's my godfather's birthday.
Well, I text him a Mean Girls thing every year.
Oh no, it's my godfather's birthday, but I do not text him a Mean Girls thing every year because he is the kind of person who finds Mean Girls to be part of what's wrong with society.
Right. Well, Eric also doesn't care for Mean Girls. Like he gets annoyed with most people that send it to him, but I think he loves it.
I forgot. I had another fact about this day. October 3rd, 2004 was the world premiere of Desperate Housewives.
Oh, another thing I've never watched. Excellent.
It is, but it's one of those things where even if you haven't watched it, everyone knows it. Like you don't know details per se because if you've not ever watched it, but everyone knows Desperate Housewives.
Yes, I definitely know it exists. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This episode was directed by Michael Fresco. He is new for us for this. He doesn't have a ton of directing. I mean, he does. He's got one. He's one of those guys who's directed like one episode of this and one episode of that and one. His first directing credit was on the show Saint Elsewhere.
Okay.
He did 5 episodes of that. He did direct 10 episodes of The OC. And he was nominated.
You know what season he directed the OC episodes?
No, I did not check. Okay. I'm sorry. Well, he was nominated for an Emmy, but not as a director, as a producer for the show Northern Exposure. But he did win a Directors Guild of America award for the same show. So
nice. Congrats.
Yes. And it was written by two ladies. One is Mona Mansour. She is an American of Middle Eastern descent who is a playwright more so than a TV writer. She only has like 5 TV credits.
I've had a couple of playwrights.
Yeah, she wrote a play called The Vagrant Trilogy. She's still very active in New York right now.
What's her name again?
Mona Mansour.
Okay. I'm going to write her name down because I would like to remember that for future times.
And then the other woman was Anna C. Miller. This is her first time writing for the show, but she was the script coordinator for the show starting at Nighthawks. So she's been there the whole season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 2 guest stars that were credited higher than Eric McCormick, which means when I saw that they were higher than Eric McCormick, I go, well, they must be important in the episode. I would say one of them probably was, but they both have very interesting connections to me.
Oh.
In a weird way. So the first one is Peter Kelemis. He played the morgue attendant. And I was very confident that I have seen him before.
Yes.
Probably in just about every TV show that's ever existed. He's one of those guys who just like does stuff. But I think I've seen him in real life before because he's a voice artist. A lot of the times he is the English dub voice of Goku in all of the Dragon Ball stuff. And he's also the Disney Infinity version of Randall Boggs from Monsters, Inc.
I could see Randall. I do not picture him as Goku. That is a very strange connection.
Right? He is Goku. But also I've seen his face in a ton of things because he was in Stargate Universe. He was in Stargate SG-1. He was in Fringe. And shout out to Joel De La Fuente. He was in one episode of The Man in the High Castle.
Oh, nice.
Then the second guest star is named Dan Payne. He played Walter, the guy at the bar. And he was in one episode of Once Upon a Time and also as a different character in one episode of Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. But he's like a big, beefy guy, and he does most of his acting as stunt acting. So he played like 5 different Wraith in Stargate Atlantis, which you have no idea what that means yet. But anyone
I know what a Wraith is.
No, yeah, but not the Stargate version of the Wraith is not.
Oh, they have their own version.
Yes, it's not. It's
okay.
Yeah, no. A Wraith is an alien species in Stargate that is different than what we think of as Wraith.
Yes,
except for that it's what I think of as Wraith.
Well,
and then he also played a Cull warrior in Stargate SG-1. So basically, he just plays anything that is big and can fight and wears a lot of face makeup. He's done it.
All right.
The episode blurb said, George tries to pass herself off as the relative of a homeless man, while Daisy performs as a temptress on Ray's reality show, much to Mason's disgust. Reggie, meanwhile, tries goth on for size.
Yep.
So,
sure enough.
We start with our voiceover that I, once again, did not pay attention to what it was about because I don't ever do that. But it's something about like the cycle of life.
Ashes to ashes.
Yeah. And Reggie is looking at George in a yearbook. And then we see Roxy and George hanging out with some homeless people.
My favorite game.
They're playing Guess Who the Reap Is with a bunch of homeless people who don't use their real names.
My favorite game. Every time they show up, I'm like, which one's it gonna be?
George guesses correctly who the dead guy is and tries to leave the Post-it note on him so that he has a name and he's not a John Doe. But then one of the other homeless people steals his jacket with the Post-it note in it, and George is getting mad, and the homeless guy, his name is Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Montana.
Hey, Montana.
The homeless man Montana is like, don't tell him to give me my coat back. I'm dead. He needs a coat.
Yeah.
I was like, I am obsessed with this homeless man. I love him.
He's very nice. I do feel like they had a little bit of a lazy writing moment because
of Daisy leaving the name with the
they just did this trope. And what I feel like happened was they were like, they did it where Daisy left the name, and they're like, you know what? Why don't we just write a whole show about that? And it's like, you just did this. You only have 15 episodes per season. You need a different storyline.
I think if it had worked, it would have been. But because the guy immediately stole the code, it was kind of like, okay, fine.
I just feel like they could have done the same storyline without the same. Like, yeah, but she could have not left the Post-it note and then been like, I have to go to the morgue and change his name. Like, just like she did.
Yeah.
And I just like, when I was watching, I was like, okay, this feels.
I just thought it was just a funny gag for him to show that he was a nicer person than she is.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Then we go to the school where it is school picture day. And my note says that bitch, Mrs. Rickett, still does not know how to deal with children.
And I just put, I love Raven. My feeling.
My dad said that too. But so Reggie is not smiling. And this goth girl, Sandy, whose new name is Raven, is like, why should she smile? Her sister's dead.
Isn't her sister dead? That's what she said.
Well, and Mrs. Rickett, my least favorite teacher when it comes to the social emotional health of her children, was like, everyone, we're going to stand here until Reggie learns how to smile. And I was like, fuck off.
Exactly. I was just like, why? Why does one? And now you've got a picture where no one smiles but Reggie. So
right
there in your face.
Then we go back to the diner and Rube is back. And I did not care for the scene. because for some reason, everybody was extra fucking salty for no reason. Like everybody was pissed at each other.
Well, it feels very similar to the scene, like which also kind of felt out of place when they're trying to like get Rube to say where he was. It also kind of felt like the scene last episode or the episode before where they were like, I don't have secrets, you don't have secrets, Rube. And it was like they kind of went back and forth. It was like, this is not.
Yeah, but like they're just like so sassy. Like everybody is rude to each other.
Yeah.
And I was getting really mad about it. And I was like, even Rube is extra fucking salty today.
Yeah.
But then he did say my new favorite insult of all time that I will be using on a daily basis, which is take a nap in a body bag.
I also loved that.
I will be saying that to so many people.
I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah. Roxy calls Daisy a hooker. Because Daisy says that she's finally doing what she was born to do, and Roxy's like, "Oh, I didn't know that they let ghosts be prostitutes." I was like, "Oh, good." And then is like, "Oh, you're on Ray's TV show. Is that because you're also sleeping with him?" And Daisy's like, "I don't kiss and tell," and George is like, "Since when?"
Right. But also before this, right before this, Rube like gets frustrated with him and leaves. Yeah. And they're all like, Rube has changed so much. And I'm like, I don't think Rube has changed at all.
Well, no, like, they didn't. I don't think they said he changed. They just said that something was up. Like, which it was. He was like,
well, no.
Something
is up. But yeah, they were like, I think Rube changed. And I was like, I don't think Rube has changed.
Oh, yeah. They were like, that trip changed him. I do, though. I think he was like extra fucking rude.
Well, like, yeah, but not enough that it was like, especially like compared to the rest of them.
Well, no, but like, that's what I'm saying. I think individually everyone was weird. Everyone was off. I didn't like anyone's character, but I will say, I know Rube talks down to Mason a lot, but the way Rube was talking to Mason was like a super, super beyond.
But he also does this in the next episode too.
Not as badly. Like, yes, but not as badly. Like, this was fucking rough.
Yeah. I don't know. He felt the least out of place, I guess, to me whenever they like start acting all out.
Yeah. I mean,
he still feels true. He feels true to his character, I guess, still. Even if like, sure, the trip changed him, he still feels true to his character.
Yes, but I also do understand why it feels weird to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think him being extra rude, because he's upset because of his trip and them not understanding it makes sense. No one else being extra rude made sense. Right. But also, I still think everyone was too rude.
Yeah, I do think everyone was too rude.
Then we find out that George and Mason really, 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 really hate Ray.
George just said, I didn't care for Ray that much. I said, same, George.
So bad. Then we go, basically this homeless person might be rich. Not really. That's what they're hoping. Mm-hmm. So George and Mason decide they're going to go to the morgue and claim his body so that they can get whatever he left behind on this mortal coil, despite the fact that he is homeless, because that makes sense.
Yes.
So they go and the morgue attendant lets them in, and Mason has never seen this man. So he's just crying over every corpse.
He's losing his mind.
I wrote that the morgue attendant thinks Mason is mentally challenged. And at this point, George might agree.
Yeah, I don't understand why this occurred the way it did. I just didn't understand this scene at all because he used this terrible Southern accent. I was like, you've already spoken in your English accent. Like, he knows you're not Southern. And
okay, but why did he use the terrible Southern accent to excuse himself for being dumb?
I mean, it
was like, oh, I know why people will believe I'm an idiot. I have a Southern accent.
But like, he already used his English accent with this guy.
Yes, no, but it's because he was like, oh, Southern equals stupid. I got it.
Well, yeah, but I just thought it was a dumb.
The whole thing was dumb.
Yes.
He's mentally not there.
And
Mason's
him
character,
losing his mind.
I don't know what.
That's not how I would have shot the scene, I guess.
So then they finally do claim the body, and the morgue attendant is like, okay, well, is this where the address where I should send the bill for the burial? Because Millie/George did not realize that she would have to pay the fee for this body once she claimed it as hers. And she said in her voiceover, generosity is for those who can afford it.
Right. Look, she's not wrong. I do my best, but like truly.
Right. Then we go to a flashback scene of George not selling Girl Scout cookies because she said that she would never win a badge for follow through.
I know. I was like, oh gosh, it's so serendipitous. Like I'm holding a box of Girl Scout cookies while I'm watching the scene about Girl Scout cookies. It's very strange.
I wanted my Girl Scout cookies that are not here. Then we go to Daisy at the bar where she will be filming her reality show. And she is kind of upset because it's not really acting.
Right. And I just put in all caps. Of course he does reality TV.
I just wrote Ray is a douche and I hate him.
Ugh. I also put I hate him so much.
Yeah.
It was the next line under.
Fucking hate him. Then we go to Happy Time.
Before we go there.
Oh, okay. You want to comment on Ray and his douche?
I would like to, because I feel like I actually want to comment on Daisy because I feel like we know she's gone through something with her sister. Yeah. And so we also know that she's grown a lot as a person. And so she's so much stronger as a person.
Yeah.
So how come she still puts up with this? It hasn't been long enough for her to be sucked in, I feel like.
Oh, no, it has.
See, and
here's the thing. And I only know this because I've been Daisy. I've been with that person who was so much more attractive and so much more powerful than I was, and I let it mean something to me when it didn't. But remember, Daisy's last thought was, why has no one ever loved me? And this guy is making it seem as if he's a narcissistic abuser.
Right.
And she's and here's the thing, she's grown a lot, but most of her growing has been in continuing to question things. So she's the exact kind of person that a narcissistic manipulator would use.
But I also feel like
it all checks out so much. My
thing is, he hasn't portrayed the charming part well enough to me. Like, usually, there's the abuse is it can be that open like it is. Like, that's not what I think is not true. But they also have this really charming side that sucks you back in. And it's like, I just don't feel like he has it enough yet.
I don't know. Honestly, everything with Ray was really, really hard to watch because I do think it was portrayed entirely accurately because that was my relationship.
See, and I haven't been there. And I did think the next episode was portrayed fine. Not fine, but correctly. I don't know. I think maybe it's just because the episodes are moving so fast that it feels
it's like the way that he's like, no, I'm sorry, you're beautiful. But right. But then he's like, I'm stressed at work. And so that his justification for him to snap. Like that's right. So, but we also don't see.
No, that felt very correct. I felt like there should have been more lead up each time. Like I felt like each time it should have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. But then it's like, we
don't see. There's so much that we don't see.
I know.
So it's hard. But no, it was very triggering, and I felt like it was very, very accurate. Mm-hmm. And the amount of Daisy is a spitfire, but when he yells at her, she becomes so small. That was so painful.
I hated that so much.
Yeah.
So much. And
maybe that's why I was in such a bad mood today.
Oh, probably.
Because I watched that last night and I had all these things to process.
Mm-hmm.
That would explain it.
Good times.
Good times. We go back to Happy Time. Speaking of a good time, we go to Happy Time, and George says some of the dumbest dialogue I've ever heard in the entire show. Because Crystal is making a rubber band ball for no reason. And she's like, oh, you got your crystal ball there? Get it? Crystal ball? So fucking stupid. And then she's like, Crystal's like, there's someone here to see you. And then she's like, sorry, it doesn't tell me about the crystal ball. And I was like, done.
I can't deal.
So then Millie / George goes to see this. Like, and I keep writing Millie in my notes because for once in this whole goddamn show, she used the correct name when dealing with people. Like, she pretended that Millie was related to this man so that she had the same name on all of the paperwork. Like,
yes.
Maybe telling Tripp her name was George was the big mistake she needed to realize you got to stick to one fucking life story.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But so Mickey, the homeless outreach man, attacks Millie.
Which
he was so justified in doing.
Yeah.
So justified. He was like, yeah. Like, fuck all of you people who only care about these people when it's too late. Like, where were you when he was suffering? Where were you when he wanted, like, why? I always wondered why he changed his name and wanted nothing to do with his family. And it's now I see why. And so this whole blow up happens.
Right. I will say, though, as far as like him asking why it was his name Montana, she gave as good a reason as any. Like,
see, maybe because I'm a better liar than she is. I would have said, I don't know, because he used that name when he left us. And
I also would have said that because he said that's been his name since he was 19. And she's clearly would be.
She was like, I don't know. That's the name he used when he left the family. My family's always still called him Arthur. And I was just trying to get to know him again. But then again, I'm a good liar.
Right.
So, but Dolores sees this blow up and is like, what is going on? And she's like, well, I don't have the money to pay for this burial for my uncle, who's not really my uncle, but whatever. And Dolores is like, that's what advances are for.
I was like, I don't think.
No, that's probably true. I mean, like, no, that's pretty.
Not for someone you don't know.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that she doesn't know it.
I know. That just feels like not a good enough reason.
Yeah.
I just have a lot of feelings, I think.
I mean, mostly my feeling is that, like, George should probably stop lying to everyone about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then,
and lie about the things that matter about lying, like her name and stuff like that.
We go to the last home where Reggie has brought Raven home with her. And turns out that Joy knew Raven when she was still Sandy and was a little kid, and Joy was being a super uncool mom. Yes. But like in the way where she's trying really hard to be a cool mom. And Raven, you know, because she's 12 and a goth, was like, I don't like your dog. It's too preppy.
I was like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but then then Reggie was like, Mom, JD can't come sit with us. He's too preppy. And I literally wrote, calling anyone preppy when wearing that sweater is a fucking joke.
Right?
That sweater was straight up a Hollister sweater.
Also, Raven goes, let's go online. And I was like, that is the most early 2000s thing that you could have said. Like, I'm having flashbacks to like watching Shoes, and do you know what I'm talking about? Let's get some shoes.
Unfortunately, I do. Sorry, your camera just got like really, really laggy for a second. So
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just hope that doesn't look like garbage in the recording. And if it does, I'm sorry, YouTube. Yeah, no, of course I knew Shoes.
Okay.
Oh my God, shoes. Sometimes I still talk like that.
I try not to because it annoys me, but it's fine.
I'm gonna get what I want.
Yeah. It makes me want to punch you in the face, but with love. Like, with love, though. I don't actually want to injure you.
I do. So then we go to Rube, who is actually.
Wait, I have one more.
Oh, you have one more comment about Reggie and her nonsense.
She asked Raven, ask for some charcoal. And Joy's like, no, we're not going to light matches. And she's like, I'm talking about eyeliner. And I'm like, no one in history has ever called eyeliner charcoal. That is the color, but you don't call it that.
Here. When was eyeliner called charcoal? Because I think it was.
Ugh, I've never called it charcoal. Its color is charcoal.
Wow, sorry. I just realized that I could not type anything. Like that was so bad. Between the ancient period and sorry. Oh no. In the 18th century in Japan, geishas used charcoal. They used actual charcoal as eyeliner. But
not in Seattle in 2003.
Maybe she's just really, really into authentic
ancient
stuff
Japanese culture.
Well, because she did say that Sandy was her white slave name. So maybe she's just trying to be true to the Native Americans and the Native Japanese who used charcoal before we modernized and ruined makeup.
God bless. God bless. I also put I hate her now.
I hope that I sounded as obnoxious saying that as I felt.
You did. Don't worry, you did.
Good. So then we go to Rube, who is actually doing a reap. That was confusing.
I know. I was like, how him work? And didn't he did Mason get a post-it note? And Roxy sure didn't.
No.
So why did Rube get one?
Mason
gets the leftover ones usually, or if it's a group thing.
Maybe he just needed to do some work and get his mind off things.
Maybe so. Maybe he just wanted to be out and about.
But his rape is at the top of a billboard, which Rube's not fucking climbing a billboard.
No.
And it's a guy graffitiing the billboard, and Rube calls him Rembrandt. And then it's yeah, come down and I will give you $30. And the billboard says, shut up, you Medici motherfucker.
But I'm like, you just referenced Medici after you were like, what did you just call me about Rembrandt? I was like,
I mean, okay, to be fair, very different centuries.
Yeah, but if you know one in 2004, you probably have heard of the other. Because 2004 was not a time for either of those things.
Well, obviously, Medici was in the 13th century and Rembrandt was in the 18th century.
Right. So if you know one, I would expect that you've at least heard.
Maybe you're just really into the Italian Renaissance period and Dutch reformists are just not your thing.
I mean, look, maybe that's a fair thing.
Or maybe you're just really into the sex part of the Medici stories because those can be a little intense.
Mm-hmm. That's more likely. That's more likely what's going on there. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the Medicis were a crazy family in in Renaissance era Italy who became the popes and paid for all of the art and also had weird crazy sex stuff and ran Italy while also having sex as the Pope. It was just a fucked up time in history.
It was a weird time.
Catherine de Medici. Yeah, anyway. The Stuff You Missed in History podcast episodes about the Medicis are really good if you want details.
Ooh, I want to listen to that. Thank you. I'm going to write that down. Because I've never remember.
Oh my gosh. Stuff You Missed in History Class is probably my favorite, like, just fact podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They just tell like really cool things that have happened in history that are like not big enough to be on people's radars for like history class.
Well, Wine and Crime talked about Charles II and their family line, and that was very fun. That was a Patreon story. Not to support some other podcast Patreon, but it was very interesting.
Nice.
So I probably would like this podcast is what I'm saying to you.
Oh yeah, no. I love it. I'm only on 2014.
Oh, well, I'll probably get ahead of you then. I move a little quicker.
I mean, I'm on episode 578 and I'm only in 2014.
Jesus Christ. What is
They've done 2 episodes a week since 2009.
So this will be us in 5 years. I got you.
Yeah.
Look out for episode 523. It's coming.
Anyway.
Terrifying.
Then we go back to the bar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I don't remember everything that happens at all.
No. Wait, no.
Oh, wait.
Let me go back to Joey and Reggie first. Really? And Raven. Yes. We have this little interlude because I don't remember what she was talking. Oh, Raven says, do you know, she said Reggie's not her name anymore.
No. That happens after because I have notes about Ray before I have notes about Raven and Spider.
Oh, okay. I don't have notes about Ray. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what exactly happens in this scene. It might be the first time that like, I don't know. I hate it. I like don't have notes. My note about Ray just says Ray is a sleaze and it feels like he's using Daisy.
I mean, yes. Definitely.
I was so mad.
1,000%.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Then in lighter news, we move to Joy and Reggie and Raven, and they are throwing out everything pink that Reggie owns.
Burn everything.
And
on Mean Girls Day, how dare they?
Well, it wasn't a Wednesday.
You don't know. It wasn't.
The show didn't come out on Wednesdays.
Day.
And Raven tells Joy that Reggie's new name is Spider.
She said, Reggie's not her name anymore. And Joy just looks at her and she goes, dare I ask? I was like, I feel you, Joy. I feel you so hard.
And then she's like, well, I didn't really have that many sweet things, so I brought you these cookies, which are the same cookies that George did not sell as a Girl Scout 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And Reggie's like, those cookies are a little bit stale, which has got to be the understatement of the century. And then Raven says,
my favorite line.
I like stale. It feels closer to death. Excuse me, ma'am. You are 12.
That made me think of those goth rock stars like 3 episodes ago.
Could you imagine Raven and Mason?
Oh my god, no. That is weird. I don't like it.
No. People like Mason being around people like Raven is how girls become like weird, creepy, like death obsessed because they don't grow out of it because then they see people like Mason. Like basically, if Raven ran into Mason, she would be me at 16.
Except she's 12.
She would turn into what I turned.
I see.
She would turn into how I turned out at 16.
Yes, fair.
Because I somehow think that starting to listen to Tokyo Hotel when I was 15 probably is a big part of why I'm a ruined human being.
I mean, I listen to Fall Out Boy, and that is the reason I am the way I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm all right some days.
When I was 12, I met 1,000 Foot Crutch.
Oh, I did 1,000 Foot Crutch.
Love them.
Love them.
Here's the thing, and this is my favorite. I apparently make an impression on rock stars no matter when I meet them because I met TFK at an event and me and my friend Alyssa went together and we were both obsessed. And then that was in August. And then in February of the same year, and the next year, she went to a concert without me. And then she was backstage and Trevor McNevin, lead singer of TFK, one of my biggest crushes as a little prepubescent middle schooler was like, where's your blonde friend? She came to school the next day and she was like, oh my God. I was like, he remembered me. He remembered me. Okay.
That's so nice.
I was blonde then.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously.
I caught on to that. Yeah. Yes.
So. But yeah, so I see Raven as turning into me.
Fair.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
Then we go back to the bar, and Daisy is trying to seduce Walter.
I also want to comment a little bit irrelevant, but it's about Daisy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just for this episode because she's supposed to be starring in TV, but she is so tan and her hair is so platinum blonde.
She didn't look good this episode.
No. And I don't know if that was like because she was supposed to be starring in TV or she was supposed to look worse because like she was being torn down. But like
I don't know. Yeah, she looked very, very un-Daisy. Like her hair was the flattest it's ever been.
Yeah.
Her skin was a weird pallor. Like I did not care for how she looked.
Yes.
So she's trying. So basically she's on this like really trashy version of Cheaters where they send someone in to seduce someone who may or may not be cheating on their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's trying to seduce this man and he's like, I'm not a cheater. And she's like, I know. And Ray's like, excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like,
ooh, Ray's a liar. Shocker.
And she's like, he's not a cheater. And he's like, make him a cheater. And then I was like, oh, my note was like that, like Ray's starting to like, this is the first time we see him get like really aggressive, not just like manipulative, but like exactly aggressive. Mm-hmm. And for some reason she like is attracted to it, which is also kind of triggering for me.
Yes.
And I was like,
yes, it was rough. And this is also where like the show takes a turn. Like, okay, so it discusses dark things. It talks about like death and stuff, but like these past like few episodes, it's like we had the woman get killed from the abusive guy that she was sleeping with, and now we have Ray, and I'm like, this show really took a turn. Yeah. Like it is. Well, it started with like Mason's dark stuff with the rock star and the suicide and everything, and then we've got like Daisy's stuff with the priest, and then with the abusive like guy, and like it's just like really. It's a really different show than it was last season.
Yeah,
and
which is not all bad.
No, I think it's a better show, but I could do without the really dark stuff.
But I think the dark stuff is even more interesting. It's just that it's not what you were told.
Yeah, well, I liked the Daisy storyline with the priest. I liked that storyline in the church.
I do even the stuff with Ray. Like I don't like it because it hurts, but I think it's interesting.
It's interesting, but I think it's too much. And I
think it's too much because it's not what we were sold on. Like, you know what I mean? Like if the show had been this dark from day one, you would know that that's what you were getting. But like season 1, girl gets killed by toilet seats falling from a spaceship. You're not expecting like abusive relationships, loss of faith, missing family kind of nonsense.
Right.
So then we go to the one character who will never get dark, even though she might be the darkest character.
Truly.
Dolores is writing Millie a check for her advance, which I just realized, how does Millie get checks? She doesn't have a bank account, does she? She doesn't have ID.
I mean, she has to, right?
Like, how does she have ID?
You can fake that. She has to have been given ID because she has to have had applied for something.
Maybe I don't know, 2004.
Surely they issue you IDs if you're going to be in the world.
I guess.
They have to.
But But she then also shows her the picture of all of the children that she sponsors in different villages around the world.
I just put, oh God, Dolores. And I was like, I can't remember what happened.
Now, here's why this was so ridiculous to me. Because this past week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, they had to make PSAs in the style of Sarah McLachlan SPCA videos about saving drag queens from being eliminated from the show. But like they were like super fucking over the top ridiculous because that's what drag is. And so I had just watched the Save a Queens fucking videos from RuPaul's Drag Race, and then I was watching Dolores and all of her sponsored children. And I was like, what the shit is going on?
What is happening in this world?
Truly, oh gosh. Truly, I tell you, I hope that little girl does one day get a Happy Time shirt and says, "Thank you, Dolores Herbig and her big brown eyes." And her big brown eyes. Then we go back to the bar, and Mason has shown up to watch Daisy act because, truthfully, Daisy did invite him.
Yes.
And Mason, and Ray asks Mason what he's doing there and tells him to shut up and gets aggressive with Mason as well.
And I said, why has Mason not stepped in by now? Like, he just sits there. And I know we talked about Alpha Beta last week, and he's like, probably couldn't actually do anything about it while at the bar. But
well, and at this point, like he sees Ray being a jerk. Mm-hmm. But at first, when he's first sitting there, he doesn't know what's going on. Like he knows that Daisy's there to act and Ray's being ridiculous, but like he doesn't put the pieces together at first. Right. And then she goes back to seducing Walter. She succeeds, and apparently she does it too well for Ray's liking. And this is the first time that I actually like consciously wrote that I was having PTSD watching it.
I just put, I hate everything so much.
Like when he grabbed her wrist, I literally froze. Like my notes get so bad my handwriting and my notes get so bad because I was struggling.
I believe it. I was stressed and haven't been in this situation, and it stressed me out. Like,
yeah. So, Mason's pissed at Daisy. And I don't think he's pissed at Daisy because he's actually pissed at Daisy. He's kind of pissed that she's allowing this to happen, but he doesn't know how to say that because he's never really cared about anyone.
Right. I think he's a little pissed at Daisy too, not because of right now what's happening, but because of how she treated him like 3 days ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's just still hurt over it too.
He's still hurt because of everything. And he's mad at her, but then he's like, you're choosing this man who is clearly abusing you over me, and you don't see it. And I don't know how to make you see it except for to push you away because I can't be involved in this.
Right. Right.
Which I do get.
Yes.
Fully.
Yes.
And then Walter's wife is also apparently very, very pissed at Daisy.
I mean.
And I almost had a moment where I kind of felt like Daisy deserved to be yelled at. Not because she deserves what she's going through, but because because she's too smart for what she's going through right now.
Right. And I think it's fair that the wife is mad at her. I think she should also be mad at Ray and everyone else involved.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Daisy had an option and chose the wrong one. Mm-hmm. And she chose to follow through, and that's why I was like, if Daisy would have stuck to her gut feeling that she was wrong, that they were wrong, and just fought back with Ray, Walter's relationship would have been fine. Like, and that's not to say that Daisy and would have been fine if she fought back with Ray. Like, Right.
Like if he's going to be grabbing her that hard for her kissing someone else when he's the one who told her to do it, like I can understand the pressure in not fighting back. But if she had fought back, Walter's relationship wouldn't have been ruined. So the wife being upset with Daisy is kind of something she could have controlled.
And I also think one of the reasons she didn't fight back wasn't just from fear and adoration, but I also think it's because she was being a little selfish. She wanted to act. This is the first time she's acted. So I don't think it was all, I mean, I do think
I don't think in that moment it was fear, because I don't think in that moment she figured out that she should be afraid yet.
I agree.
Like just knowing what it feels like to have been there, sometimes it takes too many times before you're like, oh, this is a pattern. This is not just a stress. This is not just a mistake. This is a pattern. And I think in that moment before, like, he's upset, but it's clearly because it's not working the way he wanted to and his show is riding on it.
Right.
And she's probably finding a way to justify, well, that it's his show.
And she's probably also dealt with producers or directors like that in the past, especially being from the 30s, 40s time. So like that's probably not new, like something she's never seen before on set, even if she's not sleeping with them.
Right. And also being from the time period that she is, submission in that sense of like, this is the work and they're the director and they're telling me what to do and I'm just here to look pretty, is something that she's kind of been trained to do. And even though she is a more confident person than we like to give her credit for, there's a lot of her character that is confident only in the things that she's okay with being confident on, like the things that she's been told it's okay to be confident about.
Yes.
Which is, again, still problematic, and none of it's really her fault. And I hate it.
Yes. I agree.
Then we go to the weird goth sleepover.
And my second favorite line comes in this scene.
Does it?
Yes.
I am obsessed with Joy in this scene.
Me too.
Joy comes back to the weird goth sleepover and also is dressed like a goth, but like goth light.
But Joy dresses how I dress.
No, yeah, she's like goth light.
Right. Which is me.
Yeah. And I'm super into it. And she also has called Clancy to come over to watch because like they might hate each other, but they can both get amusement out of the fact that Reggie is acting like a fucking weirdo just to have friends.
Also thrilled that Reggie's having friends.
Right. Like she's like, on the one hand, I'm happy that she's having friends. On the other hand, this is amusing.
Right.
AF. And what is your favorite line in this scene?
So she's talking to Clancy and he's telling her, he's like, I hate this. He's like, I really don't like it, Joy. And she just says, what is it? A few simple sacrifices to the devil followed by some pizza. I was like,
yes, that was a good one.
So nonchalant about it.
I was just like, a very, very good one. I'm going
to start telling people that. Listen, I'm going to have a few small sacrifices to the devil and then order some pizza. Right. When they ask what I'm doing, you wait. Yeah. Somebody's going to ask me what I'm doing at work tomorrow. I'm telling them. I'll come back with notes.
I love it. Then George goes back to the morgue to pay for the burial for this man who's not really her uncle. And the morgue attendant hands her a bag of ashes. And yep. And but the morgue attendant is basically like, this is what happens when people die. And George is like, you don't even know, I see death all the time. And he says something that was supposed to be an insult, but I also think it's the most true thing that anyone's ever said to George. And he said, you may see death all the time, but you clearly don't know what to do with it. And I was like, oh,
fair.
Like,
very true.
Secretly the deepest line of the episode.
Of course, absolutely, yes.
Then we go back to the sleepover one more time, where we are playing the goth version of categories.
this episode just had to have so much levity in it because it had so much like darkness in it too.
Yeah.
And so these scenes with Reggie and Joy killed me.
So goth categories. Apparently, category is how you want to die. Because, that's a pleasant, fun sleepover thought. Also, okay, sorry. Just comments on this goth sleepover that I have never been to. I didn't know that playing light as a feather, stiff as a board was supposed to be a way to commune with evil spirits.
Yeah, because you put it, it's like the whole thing is that like they're the ones lifting you up and you're the things like going through the.
Yeah, no, that part was definitely lost in translation anytime I've ever played it.
See, I've never played it because I'm scared of everything. Also, I've never done a Ouija board.
Oh, never. Absolutely.
Right. So I put those two things together.
Yeah, see,
I did watch the TV show Light as a Feather recently, and it was kind of dark, but it was fine.
See, when you are all like super, super, super Christian religious kids who go to like private school that has 12 people in the whole school, and you just like see sleepovers on movies and then try to recreate them, you miss details apparently, because I definitely played Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board in Casey's basement. I never once knew that there was supposed to be some spirit connection to it.
Yes. I never played it, but I did know. I never saw anybody play it. That was not a thing that happened in our sleepovers.
We did lift my friend.
Like with spirits?
Well, with 2 fingers.
So did she get possessed?
No.
Well, that's good.
Maybe we're just really fucking strong in our fingers. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know. That would make sense. We just did normal stuff like watch movies and eat pizza and play board games.
Wait.
And gossip.
Sorry, I didn't know that Never Have I Ever, or not Never Have I Ever. I didn't know Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board was not normal stuff either. I thought that was just like what you did.
No, I think it is more normal, but I'm from a small country town. We didn't do that there. The only thing we ever got into that was scary was Bloody Mary.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that because I genuinely wasn't sure it was going to happen.
We did it one time. I remember it was me and Melinda and Austin. Shocker for anyone who has ever known us as friends.
Yeah.
The 3 of us together did this, and Melinda started it because that's what she did. And she always started the scary stuff. And we were in my bathroom at my mom's house. And I remember standing in front of the mirror and we did the spinning and the lights are off. And then we all busted out of the bathroom, broke down in tears. And my mom was like getting home or something. And we like ran to her. We're all crying. And she was like, "What is happening?" And we told her, and I'm sure she laughed at us. I don't really remember, but was terrified.
Yeah, like the most spooky thing I did as a kid was when my cousins and I were in North Carolina with my grandparents. We watched Don't Look Under the Bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then but we had a trundle bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning before I woke up, my cousin crawled into the hole in the trundle and then grabbed me from underneath the bed. And
that is terrifying.
Yeah.
Did you lose your mind?
Yeah, I might have kicked him in the face.
I would have kicked him in the face. No questions.
Yeah, for sure. Then back to the actual goth sleepover, in their death categories. The one girl says, oh God, what did she say that they told her?
Cuddle.
No. But what did the one girl say that they told her wasn't spooky enough?
Oh gosh. I don't remember because I got really hung up on carpal tunnel.
She said something that was like violent, but like not violent enough, apparently. They were like, do better. And then the one girl was like, carpal tunnel. And she was like, what's that? She's like, it's like really bad.
It's really bad. And I was like, it is, but it probably isn't going to cause my death.
And then Joy was like, I want to die in bed when I'm 98, surrounded by people I love. And Reggie's like, Mom, you're embarrassing.
She's like, that's not how you play. She's like, well, that's what I want.
And so then Reggie says she wants to die in the same way George does, and Joy is like, your sister's death is not a joke. Get the fuck out of my house.
I mean, I would wait for their parents to show up. She did not seem like she was going to wait.
Just leave. Just leave.
I would wait for them to show up before I started kicking children out, but I also probably would have kicked everyone out.
Then we go back to the diner, and Tiffany is like, are those ashes on my table? And George is like, no. She's like, don't put human ashes on my table. It's bad luck.
I was like, we finally reached Tiffany's breaking point. Shooting Mason in the leg at the table was not a problem. Ashes on the table is where she drops the line.
And this is where I decided I would like a spinoff that is just about Tiffany and all of the weird, because honestly, she's cool with human ashes in the restaurant, just not on the table.
Not on the table. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not because they're dirty, because it's bad luck.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And then
Mason comes in.
I don't know.
I laughed so
happened.
hard. He says, what is that? And she says, Uncle Arthur. He's drunk. And he says, Uncle Arthur, you've lost weight. Cheers. Cheers. I just laughed for like 10 minutes.
Right. I just wrote poor fucking Mason.
And then he's telling her, like, he just starts being really like mean kind of. But then he looks at Daisy and he says, you're so beautiful and I love you. I just don't like you anymore. And I just put,
yes. Okay, I have a bunch of notes because I said poor fucking Mason first. He walks in, he's drunk, and I'm like, oh, this guy,
Cheers.
What a mess. Then Roxy and George are going to dispose of the body. And then I wrote, this tension is killing me. And then I wrote Mason with 5 exclamation points. And that, I know that Mason was when he said, I love you. I just don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
And then Daisy's waiting at the diner for Ray, but I almost thought Ray didn't show up. Like, it looked like he never showed up.
So I also thought that, but then we start the next episode.
But then the next episode confirms that she got up out of the booth to go meet him outside, not because he abandoned her. But then we go to the river where George and Roxy are dumping Montana's ashes with all of the homeless people, and I really liked the moment between them. Like, it was a really nice George and Roxy moment. It was a great George and Roxy moment.
I miss Roxy. We're not getting enough of her anymore. She's fallen off the show again.
She has. Was she even in the next episode?
No. I know.
Spoilers.
Surprise.
Spoilers for Wednesday. No Roxy.
Which shouldn't really be a spoiler because she's not in like half the episodes. So.
Facts.
But yeah. So.
The only trivia for this episode was that Medici and Rembrandt were not even in the same century. Also, there was one reference, but it was not really a secret reference. It was literally at the beginning when when George screams Bueller because she can't find the guy. Right. So who do you want to punch? I mean, honestly, I don't even have to ask the question.
I'm gonna punch Ray.
Yeah, like Ray. And only Ray. And always Ray. And forever Ray.
Yes. Accurate.
If
Ray hadn't been in this episode, I might would have wanted to punch Raven. but
like, no explanation needed. Punch Ray.
Yes.
Who's your MVP?
Mason.
Honestly, Mason made me sad because like it was sad because I love him sad, but like it still made me sad. So I'm gonna go with Dolores and her orphans.
Fair. I would have gone with Joy if I hadn't gone with Mason.
Joy's a good one too.
She killed me this episode.
That's fair. Joy's a good one too. I would ask about predictions, but we already watched the next episode. Sorry.
I know what happens. When is this? Sunday?
Sundays. This is Super Bowl Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
Hey, happy Super Bowl. Go Bengals. Go Joe Cool.
No.
I hate so much that they call him that.
Same.
But I do want him to win.
They had a penguin was born at the Cincinnati Zoo and this week, and they named it Cuppa Joe Burrow.
That is the dumbest name ever. And I love penguins. How dare they give it a dumb name? Joe Burrow's from LSU. He's from like Ohio, but he went to LSU. So that's why I was telling the rest of the world.
Oh, sorry.
You know, this isn't just for you, MK.
Whatever.
But yeah, so go Bengals.
Go Bengals, because I honestly, Cincinnati, I don't care either way about the Rams, really.
The Rams have messed up a lot of the stuff the Saints have done.
Oh, see, because that's right. Because you're an NFC girl. I'm an AFC girl. So, like, at the end of the day, the Cincinnati, like, the Bengals aren't in my division, but they have been responsible for us doing better, like, record-wise. Like, I remember the first year we got into the playoffs in my, like, memory was the year that we needed the Bengals to win in order to beat somebody so that we made it into the wild card round, and then the Bengals did win, and it was the best day. So I loved the Bengals.
Excellent. We are for the Bengals then. Cross the board.
Plus the poetic irony of the fact that we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in 13 seconds. And then 13 seconds into overtime, exactly 13 seconds into overtime, Patrick Mahomes threw a pick and the Bengals won. Beautiful.
You love it. You gotta love it. So definitely for the Bengals.
Yes.
Happy Super Bowl.
And we will see you
this
week. Oh, wait.
Come find us.
Oh, yeah.
Come find us.
All those things. I mean, we will see you later this week, but like also between now and then, you can like talk to us on Instagram or Twitter or email or Reddit. Those are really the only ones that we're super active on.
Keep an eye on our social media.
Yeah, like we have a Facebook. We have a Facebook. We're not super active on it unless people.
Well, it posts everything we post to Instagram goes there too.
Right, but like we don't communicate with people.
Because it communicates on Facebook.
Right. So like talk to us on Facebook.
If you talk to us on Facebook, we will talk back to you on Facebook.
Absolutely. But like Reddit is where it's at right now.
And we are planning our next season. So if you want to be involved in that,
stay
on the social medias.
Yes.
I will now be calling it from now on because it sounds awful. I hate it.
It does. It's almost as cringy as the time that I actually used the word chuggy while talking to my 7th graders.
Ugh, ick.
I know. Disgusting.
They used that word in my copyright conference this week.
Ew. They're adults. At least I was talking to 12-year-olds.
Yeah. They were talking about 12-year-olds, but still.
Yeah. So social medias, Death and Aliens, join the Death and Aliens community on Reddit and talk to us. And
recommend some foreign sci-fi shows so we know what we're doing next season.
Yes. And follow me on everything at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can follow me at CECloud13.
And we will see you with more dark shit later this week.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Yeah.